Hi everyone. I hope everyone had a wonderful, wonderful holiday. We had a blast this last weekend here. We went surfing and really get our minds off the normal ghost hunting and work and you name it. Went to a spa and just had a relaxing time. Um, Excuse me. We're going to talk about a few things tonight here. We're going to talk about the Krampus, which everybody knows about already, per se. We did a thing back in about 3 years ago with Brahm, the artist Brahm. He did the Diablo artwork and that for Diablo for Blizzard. He gave us a free book for doing a book review on his new book. We're going to get into other creatures that are for Christmas. Ones that I find interesting, that it might be actually becoming popular soon after the Krampus. Speaking of the Krampus, me and Jesse were thinking about doing actually bringing the Krampus parade here in Wisconsin or to the United States relatively close to us. Anybody who wants to help with us with that, just inbox us or write something on here. Krampus, long story short, I got a little clip here to show you. It's pretty fun. I'm not going to show the whole thing. These clips that I'm going to show you are not mine. I don't take any credit for any of them. Let's get into a Krampus story. We'll switch over to here.
Christmas Town, after Santa has come down, to his comrade he gives the gist of who's been naughty on his list. Now this is very serious business, as little Gunther and Ingrid are about to find out, for there is no escaping Krampus. Ho, ho, ho! Hello there, Krampus. There are two naughty children in the house down the block. Why don't you pay them a little visit?
Sure thing, Santa. That's what I'm here for. Maybe later we can meet at the beer garden.
Ho, ho, ho! Go get 'em, Krampus. Inside, the children, warmed by the fire and with presents galore, were happy and excited to hear a knock at the door. Santa's back, said the little boy and girl with glee. But alas, it was not Santa. It was Krampus. Oh no, said the children.
Which one of you stole a crunch bar from the local candy shop?
No.
And which one of you disobeyed Mommy and Daddy and went outside when you shouldn't have?
We didn't do it, and it wasn't us.
Oh, delicious little liars. It was both of you. I think it's time to get into the bag.
No. Oh no.
Long story short, the Krampus beats the hell out of kids for being naughty. It's very cool. If you want to look up more about it, we have a video about Brahm and his book and that. Go ahead and look through all of our videos. I mean, there's a lot of them. After I'm done showing the legendary monsters here of Christmas, I'm going to get into some apps that we've been using and some we have used in the past as well. For phone, Android and iPhone, and a little bit of Windows Phone. Windows Phone doesn't have that many apps. let's get into, let's see here, let's pull this up. A few of these creatures that I found really interesting. Let's switch over to the camera. Desktop, I mean. This guy is pretty cool. It kind of reminds me of the Krampus. A lot of these actually remind me of the Krampus because they all, like, beat the hell out of kids for being naughty. Except for maybe one that I found. We have a video of this. It's very rare finding any of these videos of these creatures. They're not very popular yet. Like I said, I was thinking that some of these are going to become popular, just like the Krampus. Give it some time. Let's pull up some about this guy here. And again, I don't take credit for these videos. You can find these online. This is actually the only one that I found that has good information. And they sound cooler. I can't do like all the voices and stuff. So, here we go.
Speaking countries, those not visited by good old Nick, may get a little surprise from Le Père Fouettard, or Father Whipper. Not a monster in design. Father Whipper is simply a shaggy man with a long beard and hooded robe, but his acts are enough to cause children to cower. Père Fouettard is actually connected to the lore of St. Nicholas saving 3 children from being murdered by a butcher and served as meat. In the lore, Père Fouettard was the butcher. Now he does St. Nicholas's bidding, threatening children into being good. Number 8. Belsnickel. Picture this. You're sitting peacefully in your home, watching a warm fire burn away kindle as another holiday night slips by. You sip your tea and enjoy the peaceful quiet when, suddenly, you hear a loud knock at the door. A masked man raps on your window pane, Belsnickel and his satchel of gifts. As a child in southwestern Germany, Belsnickel may have been a gift giver like Santa Claus, but his grim style, masked face, and ominous means of announcing his arrival could easily be terrifying. While Belsnickel delivered gifts to good children, he either left sticks for those who were bad, or, depending on which version you hear, actually kidnapped naughty children and dragged them into the forest for swift punishment. Number 7.
Now, this chick, this is the one I actually predict that it will become very popular. I think this is brutal. This chick is brutal. She's a witch. I did some other research prior to this. She pretty much is a witch that gets really into her work, I would say. And there was actually some reports of something very close to this in real life, somebody actually doing this. Let's just watch it. It's gruesome.
Frau Perchta. Frau Perchta's mythology stems from pre-Christian pagan tradition, meaning she wasn't always associated with Christmas lore. But as her existence throughout time continued, the lore surrounding her changed and expanded. One of Frau Perchta's more insidious tellings pegs her as a wanderer that would slit open the belly of someone that went against cultural norms. The expanded mythos behind Frau Perchta in Bavaria and Austria has her wandering during the 12 days of Christmas. On these nights, she would visit good children and give them a small silver coin. Children that had misbehaved and did not work hard all year would have their stomachs cut open, their innards removed, and replaced with straw and pebbles. The perfect bedtime story for a rambunctious child. Number 6. Stragula. Sometimes having to dish out all of the punishment yourself can be quite the chore, which is why in some retellings of Frau Perchta, she is accompanied by horned beast known as Stragula. When the Stragula are present, they are believed to be the ones that dish out Perchta's punishment on bad children. The Stragula attack all bad children, robbing them of their personal effects, and sometimes even ripping them apart without pause. Unlike many Christmas creatures and traditions, The Stragula serve no purpose but to assist Perchta in punishing badly behaved children, making them one of the more gruesome holiday creatures.
Messed up. It definitely is messed up. I think this particular thing is actually going to become. It might actually become more popular than the Krampus. Obviously, the Krampus is getting a lot of heat this year because he just finally came out. But that is just brutal. So let's see here. All right, that's Jesse surfing. You did okay. You did okay. I didn't do it. I didn't want to hurt my shoulder and stuff. Before we get into the apps, I'd like to talk about spirits, and I think they actually know. I think they actually know prior to us coming to places, and I think sometimes spirits even know I'm going to talk about them. So I wouldn't say necessarily influence our lives, but definitely know. You know, they try to make their presence known before I even go to a place. Before we even go to a place, and I think a lot of times I'd get the idea that we need to go investigate a certain place. I'd have to say, kind of. I wouldn't say that I wouldn't base it upon that particular spirit that I would go visit it. They pretty much have to make a good case for me to go there. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that I think there's spirits around right now that are waiting for me to do the app stuff. But I want to talk about a little bit from about a friend of mine about a year ago, 4 days today, that he died. Died pretty much right on Christmas. I'd say not really a friend anymore, or wasn't a friend at the time, but he, I'd say he was my apprentice in magical workings and stuff like that, and he was one of those people that I showed immensely the arts. It's rumored that he actually killed himself, so since that it's kind of close, I think this particular his spirit is around, not necessarily by me or anything like that, but I think a lot of the times when you think about somebody, they can make their their presence known regardless of where they're at in the afterlife. I think, if you believe in reincarnation or anything like that. Otherwise, I feel a lot of the times that these things know that we're thinking about them, and that they can make themselves known. Or, like investigation-wise, I think sometimes they know before we even go there. Some of them approach me, some of them talk to me before we even go. And it's almost like I know exactly where to go because they show me where to go. One particular would be Grant Park and Ridgeway. Actually, the spirits of Ridgeway actually visit me more frequent after we visit there. There were burnt faces and stuff like that, and we found out that the town actually half of the town burned down, so I was seeing all these spirits with burnt faces and that, and it sucked. But let's get into the app here, but I don't really want to talk too much more about that stuff. But I think a lot of the times these apps, even if they were meant for a entertainment purposes only, I think I think spirits can interfere with anything. It just doesn't necessarily mean that. Anyway, I'm going to go into an app that I actually have on the computer. It's called Ghost Rider Classic. See, now, on the computer, it doesn't have all the nifty things that a phone would have, like the detect balance.
Pack.
The detect balance, EMF detections, and stuff like that. They say that it detects vortexes. So now, by being on the computer, technically, I don't have any sensory. Really, I don't have that much sensory stuff on the computer to say that this is real. Now, we did some experiments with this a while back. Every time the radar would come up with something, we would take an EMF detector and go over. We would have like 2 or 3 EMF detectors and put it over by one of these
George.
dots. I don't know any George. Anyway, it just turned into a word dictionary, pretty much, just like the the tools that you see on popular TV programs and that. What's it called? The Obelisk? I didn't even take the time to even spend money on that. I just feel that it's hard to determine something like that, especially if you have other tools like this that are for free,
Rust.
This thing's talking like crazy. I'm not saying that this is... I see people use this as a main tool in ghost hunting. I cringe on that. It's because, let's say you went to a client's house and this thing started spitting out words that upset a client, but you can't determine that one word, that one freaking word that randomly came out of this. I mean, it's just like the ghost box. I mean, unless they're spitting out complete sentences and they're saying people's first and last names and are relevant to what I'm talking about, then yeah, I'd say...
Period.
Then I would say that it's something of use. Like I say, we're using the the Echovox right now.
Rant.
Right? I paid my rent, damn it. Damn it. You can't tell me about my rent. What about my rent? Hello. No. What was I saying? Echobox. Yes. Now, we originally had an actual show about that particular thing, and we said that it was too noisy, and it is too noisy in my opinion. But it's more or less the same thing as random words being spit out. Crazy. I'll show you what the... If you haven't been watching our shows, we've been using it. I'm going to switch over to...
React.
Now, it's not a main thing, like we're saying, it's not a main thing that we use to determine that there's a spirit there or not. A lot of the times that actually is digital recordings off of one of our recorders or something like that. And I'm going to get into a little bit of programs that we use for ghost hunting. And there's free ones. There's plenty of free ones out there. I use this for our EVP work. I think this one I bought about $600 for this. And then I use Sony Vegas Pro for our editing and that, which is kind of cool because they both kind of tie in together. You can use the free programs to do that too. Speaking of our work here, a lot of the times that we do, you probably will never see us use a phone for EVP work, for digital recordings and stuff like that. I feel that a lot of the mics are sensitive for close-up talking, designed for, talking to people on the phone. A lot of the times that, they're getting better. It's just that it's going to be hard to determine somebody in the background talking versus somebody up close talking, if it's, a person actually talking. And we'll get into, like, when you see us do, like, digital work or EVP work with a digital recorder, a lot of times we'll have a camera facing us at all times, just because I want to know if it's a true EVP or not, and not somebody mumbling off in the background. We use that a lot. We sync up everything to the camera, so it's pretty cool. I like doing it that way, and I think it's more of a process. You'll hear us say, activation words like peach or fruit or whatever, and then we can sync up the audio all together just to determine if there's something that it shouldn't be there versus another audio. And then we use programs like Sony Vegas Pro to actually see the wave pattern, the sound pattern underneath with the video, and we can actually determine by spikes in the wave pattern of the audio. And it's, that's something that we've used for a really long time to determine if there's an actual true EVP. Ghost Box too. I've talked about that in the past. We have spirits that can talk in between the channels, and you get yourself a really good program that you can see live. You can see live the wave pattern coming through, and you can see the milliseconds coming through. When you set yourself up to 100 millisecond in reverse, you'll see that some of these spirits, when they talk, they actually talk in the gaps, going over the gap, talking. And that, I think, is more of a scientific reasoning to the ghost box, determining that a ghost box can be real in this field. And I don't know if I have any of the videos up anymore, but you can even take an audio clip from a video, put it into like Sony Vegas, and pull up the sound file, and you can see the gaps between every channel. And way a radio's set up, there is no frequency in between those channels. So it's one of those things that it's really cool if you ever have the chance to do, if you're doing ghost box work. It's something really cool to look into. What you do is you pull up an audio file, and you'll see the audio in there, and then you can see the gaps in between each row. It's pretty neat. I don't have a clip on here to pull up for you, otherwise I would show you. It's pretty neat. You don't even necessarily need to use Ghostbox too. We've used white noise app generators in the past for apps on the phone, and I'd have to say brown noise, I think it was brown or pink noise, one of those two. Actually, we were pulling up EVPs out of nowhere with that versus like blue noise and purple noise and all that fun stuff. and mess around with that. You mess around with different apps and, see what works, see what doesn't work. It's it's all trial and error. It doesn't necessarily say that every one thing works better than the next. And lately, yeah, I've been using apps because it's a lot more convenient to use those than dragging everything around. This pretty much covers it for that. We actually don't use any of our hardwired EMF detectors anymore. We just put a phone in silent airplane mode, and then we use the detection on our phones. Entity Sensor Pro is an app that we've used for years. It has three axes, so it can scan above, down below, side to side. We can, we'll be able to tell if there's a power outlet in the ceiling, on the wall, which is phenomenal because an EMF detector like that costs so much money, and we're all about trying to get things doing this for free, and apps and that can pretty much do almost the same stuff that a hardwired hardware equipment would do. I mean, shoot, I'm gonna get a flare for my iPhone this year on taxes. I'm gonna get that, and we're gonna start using that sucker versus our actual flare. That it's gonna be as good. So I mean, a lot of the stuff we're moving towards the phone stuff. Just turn it on to airplane mode, and there you go. We're even using cameras now. I mean, shoot, the camera on this sucker is better than most of my cameras. I just wish it was infrared, but I'm not ripping it apart for infrared. Take the filter out of that sucker. I mean, I'm not messing around with my phone to pull that out, but still, I mean, the technology in phones alone are blowing out. You don't really need this other stuff anymore, really. As long as you can take an actual document of what you're doing, a document, hard copy of this, you can print it out. A lot of that EMF detector that I was just saying, I can send all my readings throughout the night to my printer at home if I want to. I mean, that thing can even turn on the mic on the phone when I get an EMF spike, determining if that an EMF is in the air. I'm sorry, an EVP that's in the air, and it will turn on the mic just to see if they're that's EVP generating. But it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal that a lot of the stuff's coming out. A lot of this, stuff that's not meant to be used in ghost hunting is. And my philosophy is that, if we can see a ghost with normal vision, I'm going to try to use normal lighting in that. And I'm kind of, if you noticed, a lot of our videos are like that. Anyway, I'm kind of ranting here, off on a tangent. If you like any of this stuff, comment below. As for the Sad Satan video, I actually pulled that down. I pulled all of it down. Oh man, there were so many people that I didn't want. I was bringing in people I didn't want to on this page. I just don't need it. People just got real crazy with that. I actually blocked the comments on there. And I noticed, conspiracies are conspiracies. I'm not about conspiracies. I'm trying to show people that some of this stuff's real, some of it's not real, and like to show folklore and that, and just do shows and have fun with it. And it's just, like I said, I was trying to help people out with that. People just didn't seem like they cared, or I didn't really get into why you shouldn't be looking into it, or finding it. But the fact is it's not even important anymore. It's not even really important to me. I just thought I would help some people out because I did kind of feel sick from it, but you know, unless I actually pull it apart and show people the audio and take out the audio and do a lot of stuff to show you that frequency is bad for you, no one's gonna believe me. And it's pointless to have it up, so I pulled it down. I even pulled down the show of me playing this stupid thing. It was dumb. I don't play into conspiracies, and I don't need that type of people around. You know, it's not necessarily me. And like I said, it's you guys that watch my shows that really, you know, I don't want that negativity around. I just simply don't. So these videos are, like I said, they're for pretty much fun purposes, and if you feel like you want to watch us, show this to people, I mean, it's fine. That's completely fine with me. But this one guy just came on here and just, wow, I don't know what the heck his problem was, but like I say, I really don't care. I was saying I was crying, and I'm like, no, man, I was showing people that possibly that could be hurting people. But whatever. I'm probably not going to do any of those anymore. I did that stupid pencil game too, which is dumb, stupid as heck. Anyway, I'm going to go here. This is going really long. Like I said, let us know if you want to help us out with the Krampus thing, or some ideas with that, or some place you want in Wisconsin for us to do that. The Krampus parade. I think that would be kind of fun for everyone. Kind of looking for somebody to run it. We get it started and help somebody, help us run it. Obviously, me and Jesse work almost 24 hours a day. It's just that, like I said, I'm on call all the time. So anyway, I'm going to go here and subscribe or give us a like. And I hope this was entertaining as much as I could get it. Alrighty. Bye-bye.